Hey guys, Allison here. Well, on the church calendar, we are about to celebrate two of my favorite feast days, and they're back to back, the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So obviously my whole field is mental health, and I want to talk about, are you living from your heart or from your head? And it's not necessarily mutually exclusive, but what's in the lead? Now it's interesting because we've seen many art depictions of the Sacred Heart of Jesus exposed, and Mary, all right, pierced by a sword, crowned with thorns. All right, we see those pictures. I have never seen a picture of their brains. Right? You never see where they've opened up the head and they're showing Jesus's brain and Mary's brain. No. Now we know they had brains, obviously, and yet artists over the years and the church itself is focusing on the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So that's a huge clue for us in terms of how we're supposed to be living in order to be like Jesus and Mary and to be mentally healthy. Right? We have to follow their example. So what does that mean? Our heart is where God talks to us. Right? Our intuitions, we feel it in our heart. We are moved interiorly by compassion, by grace, by love. Right? We're moved in our hearts. But what is the role of our head? What's the role of reason? Right? The way God made us is that our heart is primary, but it needs to be guided by reason. So what does that mean? Sometimes we might have an inspiration to do something, we feel compassion towards someone. But let's say that person might be a dangerous person for us to approach. So our head would step in and say, okay, maybe you need to just call 911, or maybe you need to let the guys handle this one, or whatever it is. We don't want either one to completely rule us. All right, if we're only ruled by our emotions, not guided by reason, that can get pretty bad. All right, something we call the tyrannical heart. All right, our emotions are so almost like tyrants over us, and reason has to step in because we get burned out very easily. Right? We need to kind of understand that interaction. But like I said, I think the church is holding up that example to us of the primacy of the heart of Jesus and of Mary. And that's, again, where we need to be connected with Jesus and Mary and with God, is through our heart, through our intuition, but guiding it by reason. So, again, thinking about that as you contemplate these beautiful feasts of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary, is a good time to kind of pull in prayer. And what are you hearing in your heart? What is God telling you? Sometimes we can be so focused on facts in our head that we miss a lot of things. All right, sometimes all the facts add up. You can put something on paper, everything seems to add up, but your heart's saying, no, don't do this. Listen to that. And if you're not sure, now sometimes our woundedness, our anxiety, maybe if we have OCD, that might throw off our radar, and that's where working with a therapist or sometimes even a coach, because we might have mindset things that are getting in the way of really kind of discerning or following our heart. But it's really important that we're in touch with that. All right, that we allow God to speak in our heart, that we live from our heart, but that we always guided by reason. I think that's the great lesson, and that's, I think, what some of the great thinkers like Thomas Aquinas really taught us. So if you want to be mentally healthy, the heart is primary, guided by reason. Really important. So I hope you find that helpful. Please like and share the video. I always appreciate when you do that. God bless you.